All right, welcome back, everybody. Terrible at fishing. I'm going to show you what I have been learning. Kind of excited about what I can do with it. All right, welcome back. Well, you guys know I've been making cribbage boards, although I have not forgot about my baits. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful baits I've been making. Just gorgeous baits. So, don't worry. Just expanding my artistic repertoire. So, cribbage boards, I know, but this is what I've been making out of my laser, with these little travel ones, which is great. I mean, the travel ones are awesome. I love the way these turn out. I mean, they're fantastic. So, but I wanted to make ones with, hardwood. Well, I tried making a hole with my laser. Did not work. The only way to do it really is with a drill, which when you put like 380 holes on something, that's kind of a bother. And it probably wouldn't look very good. So, got a CNC machine. No. And this little guy, is a Genmitsu 3018. And what 3018 means is basically it can only do things a little bit bigger than this. Got it for this, for making cribbage boards. Bzz, 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 bzz. And learning new software. So yesterday I dive into a software. Hours it took me to design a cribbage board and understand the software. And then when I went to export it, it wouldn't because it's the trial version. How stupid is that? So I went with a very simple software, which I already knew. It's called Easel. Easel. And Easel is really a beginner software. Anybody can do it. But it lacks certain controls, although it's simpler for machine hookup than the VCarve. VCarve, you export the GRBL or Gerbil, file, which is the codes, and put it on a flash drive and put it in your machine, which is stupid. I mean, they charge so much for that software. Why wouldn't they just hit a do it button? Dumbest thing I ever seen. Do not. I mean, I like the software, hate the interface. Simple as that. But so Easel's easy, but it lacks control, of the Z-axis, which is the up and down movement. And you really want more control of the Z-axis. So as it plunges down into the wood, you control it more. The feed rate, the path, the actual path of the bit, something VCarve does. And c'est la vie. So I did it on Easel. And Easel is easy. Anybody can do it. Do I need something a little bit more? I don't know yet. When I was carving this, I was, it would make certain noises as it plunged down into it. I wish I had more control over the path and the feed rate of it. And it did well. I mean, it did very, very good. It was so funny though. As I did it, I don't know if you notice right there. There's a hole not there. I know. So I had to rerun the program with just that hole. Extremely. I mean, I wrote down the X and Y, and then I punched it in the machine just for this one hole. And I don't know how I missed that hole, but I did. Anyway, it punched it perfectly. That's the hole right there. It punched it perfectly. Or there's the hole right there. Yeah, that's the hole right there, I guess. Something like that. And then I took it and I put it on my laser, and then I did the burning of the images. It says Klamath Falls, cribbage, and then big giant osprey. Now, what I'll be doing, of course, is finishing the edges and stuff like that, sanding it down. But I want to put a pocket in the back to hold the pegs in it. So I want to put a pocket, concealed pocket in the back, and so I'm designing that. And so the pegs will always be with it, so you don't lose it. And it did a really good job. Did a real good job. It was my first real project, on it. And so what I'm going to be, I go to Cookwoods, which is in town, is a exotic lumber company. And I can't afford his lumber, but I can't afford his throwaways, his scraps. So I go, and by the way, this is one of the scraps. I know. Here's another beautiful. I've already designed a board, a cribbage board to go inside here. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful live edge piece. And another one. This is a scrap. I know. These are scraps. You just got to dig through them. Look at that. It's gorgeous, huh? Another gorgeous piece. I know it's got, cracks and stuff on it. It's probably why it's, but I love that. I really do. I don't. This is mahogany, I think. That's what this one is. These other ones are maple, I think. Really dense. Really dense. Really. I think this is a maple. There's different types of maple, but I don't know. I don't know my woods very well. I just know it's pretty. And it's gorgeous. I love the live edges on it, This will make a beautiful cribbage board. This really will make a beautiful cribbage board. We'll put a beautiful burn on it and finish it off. And then on the back, we'll put the pocket in the back. It's thick enough to where, I could do a lot with this. It's just a beautiful piece of wood. I'm glad I found this. You just dig through this big giant, bin at the end of his conveyor. And he's got several of these cardboard bins, and you just digging through it, and you just hoping. And he charges, per pound, not very much. Instead of board foot, he charges by weight, of scraps, and he does a real good job. His wood is so stinkingly beautiful. I just love his wood. It's my favorite store to walk in now. In Klamath Falls, it's my favorite store. I just love it. So, but we're going to do this one right here. I've already designed the cribbage pattern. This will be a 2-lane. That's a 3-lane. So people or 6 people can play it. It's a you can play teams, pairs. So this will be a 2 to 4 player, and it's just going to be a beautiful piece of work. After I drill it, then we're going to put a beautiful picture on it, like I did with this one, like I did that. So, all my boards all my boards are unique. Every one of them are unique, and it's gonna be really pretty, really pretty. Whew. But it takes this board. Maybe it's because I don't know that much yet. I'm not real gifted with it. But it took 3 hours to drill the holes, and then it probably takes an entire day of work, at least, to do this, because it's not done. I've got to put a pocket in the back and a cavity for the pegs, and then I've got to sand it down, edge it, and finish it, and that then it'll be done. That's a lot of work. So it'll probably take about a day and a quarter. I'm thinking about 10 hours to do one crib board. 10 hours. So you're probably wondering, what would you charge for those, Mike? Well, I would charge about $100 because a day of my work, and then the wood is not cheap. Okay, good wood. Wood is so expensive. Oh my gosh. He charges thousands and thousands of dollars for slabs. And this is exotic wood. This isn't, some of it isn't. The mahogany. I think that's mahogany. And then this type of maple. And I've used Osage orange and stuff like that. That's exotic, but that's in the plains area. But I just, live edge stuff like this is just, if you pull this out, you started playing cribbage with a buddy or your wife or somebody, it's just so much fun. And they're just going to look at it and they're just going to say, where did you get that? It's a conversation piece while you're enjoying a fun game of cribbage. And cribbage is an old game, but it is one that has stuck around through generations for a good reason, because it's competitive, it's fun, it's a card game that has a racetrack, and if you play in teams, it gets brutal. So I these things right here, I'd say about $100 per crib board after I'm done with these, because, the wood alone is worth a lot of money. This Osage orange, which I did a piece just recently, it wasn't a crib, though. That was an expensive piece of wood. And then there's leopard wood, and there's all sorts of type of woods that Cook has, and if I ever find a piece of, certain one, and this one's got a really pretty burl. It's hard for you to see it, and the grain is just so pretty on it. Once I sand, continue. This is sanded, but once I finish it and it'll really pull the grain out. It'll look really good. And I have to sand and edge this. But the burl is real pretty. You can almost see it there. But that'll get sanded down. Very cool. They're prettier in person. That's my point. This doesn't have a burl to it, but just a beautiful, grain to it. Looks a little wet. It'll be interesting to sand it down. That's what it looks like, maybe. Feels a little wet, but not dry. He doesn't usually do that, so it's probably dry. I'm still learning my woods. Still learning my woods, but my baits are coming along nicely. I mean, I mean, been making some beautiful baits. I know. Coming up on spring, I was beached for most of my ice fishing season, but fingers are fine. I got my fingers. Didn't have to cut any of them off from that frostbite, so I kept my fingers. There are some real neat crib boards. Now these right here are the pieces for these, but that one, dragon. It's a little D&D one, and duck hunting. Beautiful eagle. So, and then these are the pieces that go with it. Put them in little boxes. Made boxes for them. I know. I'm having so much fun making stuff. I like making stuff. It's the fun part of being me. But anyway, I'm going to put this in my CNC playlist, which is a new playlist. And my CNC machine, that one right there, I'm going to extend the bed. I actually have an order for a bed extension. And it'll double its size. And basically, it'll do the same size as my laser. And this will allow me to do some more, longer crib boards. And 18 inches and stuff like that. I mean, it'll do some fun long crib boards, and crib boards sometimes are very long, but it just depends on the piece of wood. If I get a long piece of wood or a square piece of wood or rectangle or oval, cookie, as we call it, cookies, then I can put it in my machine and drill the holes. But it's interesting. And it's a lot of learning because you got all these bits. I mean, there's 50 bits here, and I gotta learn bits. What they're good for. The bit that I used on that is a 2-fluted ball nose, and it's not a bad bit, but there are better bits out there. And your bit is really the cutter. The spindle just spins it, but I mean, it'd be nice if, some people put Makita routers on these things and replace that spindle with a Makita router. I mean, that thing can, then it just blows through jobs. The mini, the little Makita router is $100. So if I wanted to, I could actually just, with a new holder, about $150, and which is what it paid for. This thing only cost me $150. So the adding a Makita router is later in life, maybe, but it would burn it up. It would burn it. The thing would just crank out, stuff. It took 2.5 hours for this thing to drill this, and I think with a better bit, it would have done a better job. And it's not a bad bit. It's just not, I can increase speed with a better bit. And that's the nice thing about it. You can double this. You can knock it out in half the time. So I'm going to learn a lot when it comes to the CNC. I'm going to learn a lot about woodworking. Something I haven't learned. In high school, back in the 70s, we had 3 woods. We had pine, oak, and mahogany. Those are our 3 woods in wood shop, and we made a lot of skateboards out of oak. We did. Back then, it was all about skateboards and gun racks. It's just what we did. We made gun racks. It was our first one of our first projects. I think it was. We made that out of pine. You know, I don't know, it was cheap. Pine was the cheapest wood. And then some of us took oak and mahogany and put them together. Made some really nice looking skateboards. We actually tapered it because you needed a kicktail on it. It was just so much fun. All of us. I mean, it was just. They don't teach that stuff anymore. I don't think. But I mean, we had metal shop. We learned welding and metal work. We had plastics, and we had wood shop. Of course, I was a gearhead, so we did auto shop, and it was just a lot of. I mean, we just learned shop stuff. So, I know. All right, guys, CNC. See what I'm going to do with my CNC later. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care.